Do record in the cloud. All right, welcome everybody. This is the Math 146 Introduction to Statistics course. This is Professor Thomas here. And tonight we are going to have our orientation. We're going to kind of just start off with like introduction and look at the survey. And then after that, we'll look at the syllabus and calendar, our course calendar. And then what we'll do is go inside Canvas. I'll kind of walk you through Canvas, and also I'll walk you through my stat lab. And then finally, if there's any questions or comments, I'll be sure to ask and answer those types of questions. And then also there will be a wait list questions as well. So if anybody has a wait list questions, I will get to that toward the very end. Okay, so that's what's going on tonight. As far as intros, we can probably hop into our course real quick. 1 second here. And let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger. So you all are supposed to introduce yourself at some point this week. And I think some people have already started, so I'm going to go in there and take a look. Okay. We have Gabrielle, Summer, Ashley, Haku, Alexa, Kylie. I think if you are running START, it's helpful to put the school that you attend. Just nice to know what school you're coming from. This one looks like it's been in twice, but I think it was a reply to Kylie, so I'll delete it. This looks pretty nice though. Inslee, good. Aksa. Well, it looks like we have a lot of Run and Start students. Lana, Asana, Olivia, Emmanuel, Ashley. So at some point you'll get a chance to do this. You'll introduce yourself. We actually have 2 classes, so let's peek into the other class and see how they're coming along. Actually, in the discussion section here, not as many, but we do have some. Tracy's here. Nice. Notice we do have a lot of nursing, future nurses. It's good stuff. Caitlin is here, good. Linda. Gavin. And I actually do read these. I'm just kind of going through it real quick. It's kind of my way of taking attendance for the first week. So it's good to see that you guys are participating and interacting inside already. So some of you guys were able to get signed in right away. Good stuff. Crystal, Skylar, Kevin, okay. Mary, Aaliyah, Bonnie, Elizabeth, yeah, good. All right, awesome. So good job, guys. Welcome, everybody. So if you don't get a chance, be sure to put something down. Just a quick little introduction about myself. So welcome everybody. I go by Professor Thomas. Basically, I am one of the most popular statistical teachers here, and that's why you guys all signed up for my class. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, basically, I've been teaching for quite a while, and I've been at Everett since 2015. I started teaching online around 2017 or so. So I used to go in person quite a lot, and even still, I mean, I'll have classes on campus, so I'm still around on campus. But I remember teaching this class, and I always wanted to have it online, and I finally ended up getting the online sections, and so it's been working out really well. But yeah, enough about me. I think also I put in our Canvas page, in the About Professor page here, I've added some things about myself, just some more information, probably like, yeah, LinkedIn profile, kind of my background. You know, right now I'm going over to WWU for the Doctorate in Education program, and it's to get a superintendent certification as well. So I got that going on, as well as I teach during the day in the Everett Public Schools, and I teach in the evenings over at EFCC. That's kind of the way I do it. I'm love statistics. You know, I'm actually in a process. This is funny. Next quarter, I'm going to be changing this class around a lot. It's going to be a major shift. Right now, it's like, it's been nice, but I was approached by Kendall Hunt to create my own stats book. And so that's what I'm working on right now. I'm working on creating my own statistics book, and it's supposed to be finished sometime in maybe March. Well, just it'll be ready for the start of the spring quarter. And it'll be an ebook as well. And what I'll do, I'll probably share it with you guys as well, since I'll be having you guys as I'm going through it. And I basically have to create all new material, which kind of sucks because I recently created a lot of new material for this course because I switched books. And now I'm going to switch books permanently and move on to my own book. And so we're not going to be using Pearson anymore. We'll be using another type of online management system that's tied into my own book. So that's kind of what I'm going to be focused on a lot. And so when we talk about stats, or you have questions and I'm explaining questions, you know, those questions could probably help me, you know, rewrite, you know, certain parts in the book that I'm creating. So it's pretty exciting. I'm excited to get it done. So I'm in the process of getting a title and a cover picture. That's what I have to turn that in by Thursday. And I think I actually want a black cat. I want a black cat on the cover somewhere. I know it sounds no, 'cause I just think of, you know, I think of stats as a little bit of witchcraft sometimes. And I mean that in a funny way. I'm being a little facetious. I mean, like a lot of what we do in stats, it just feels insane. Like I just imagine, like, all right, like you're doing all of these calculations, like you're doing these weird calculations to this data set, and then in the end, you come out with this magical number that explains everything. You cook it in a huge pot and you're just throwing in all the ingredients and you're doing all these things. And next thing you know, you come out with this masterpiece. You know, in a lot of ways, that kind of reminds me of stats. You know, it's one of the closest things that I've ever seen in terms of just the kind of the artfulness of it. The art of it is kind of very, it just reminds me a little bit of witchcraft, honestly. So anyway, we've done that. We'll look at the survey results and let's end the poll. Let's share the results. It looks like number one, have you completed the student intro? And we got about 70% of the people who actually took this. 70% said yes. Have you ever took an online class? Again, another 70%. Interesting. Number three, do you like math? This is a very important question. We don't have good results. 40% no. About 60% not sure. Have you ever had any other math classes at HCC? We have yes and no. And there were some questions. One person has a question. So if you do have that question, be sure to message through the chat or send me a message directly through the chat as well if you can. All right. So be sure to fill out those intros, as I said in the message, during the first week. If you don't, I need to know if you're going to be here or not. And otherwise, we have to submit a list of students who did not show for the first week so that we can drop them in time before they actually get charged and they have to pay for the course. So the next thing we're going to do is go over the syllabus and then go over the course calendar. And the course calendar is actually inside of the syllabus too, but there's other places to go to find it. Any questions before we move on? Yeah, I love cats too. I'm definitely a cats person. But I do like people, I admire people who like dogs. It's amazing to me. It turns out to be a lot of work, but if you know what you're doing, man, it's really worth it. With cats is you know, you don't have to be great at mastering animals to own a cat. Like cats will take care of themselves, which is just kind of a relief. You know, dogs need, I don't know. It's like comparing apples and oranges, really. So anyway, let's focus in on our syllabus now. So there's a couple of ways to access the syllabus, to actually find it. One way to find it is to go into the Files section. And when you click on Files, we have, these are like some of our secret photos in here. Our syllabus is there, and this is a PDF version of it. And you can click on that. It's 7 pages long, and you have access to it. So that's one of the main places to go. Let me demonstrate another location to go to find it. If you're back at the home, another place is either by clicking inside the syllabus link or the syllabus link on the outside. If you click one of those, it's going to take you to the syllabus page, which is the digital version, and then also has a hyperlink to the syllabus of this course. So let's go back now to the syllabus. And I'm just going to kind of skim through it. Again, this class is fully online. The item number is here for the section that you're in. Prereq is good. I do go by Professor Thomas. And I do say that Canvas is the best way to communicate. I try to respond as fast as I can. And the thing is, if you message me in Canvas, I also get the message sent through to my email. So that's what's so cool about it. But if you just email me, it could get buried. We get a lot of emails in there. I do acknowledge the emails, and I'll eventually find them, I'm sure. But I just might not respond as fast as I would had you message me through Canvas. So that's the one. And then also here's the phone number to my office in Rainier Hall. And if you leave me a voicemail, it goes to my, it goes to my email. I don't know if it goes to my cell phone anymore. I have to fix that. It used to, but I think they changed it around. So, but I do get the voicemail. It does. I get an email recording of your voicemail. I think almost everybody does. And then the office hours, I just put Tuesday, Thursday. They probably will be I'm always up. So, and you can message me at 1 a.m. I may not answer or reply back right away, but I don't frown upon you messaging me. I don't, it doesn't, or you want to reach out, feel free to reach out. And quite frankly, I usually do meet with students via Zoom. And it's usually never during office hours. Usually it's some other time. It's some other time that's decided upon. So, but I am going to set aside the Tuesday, Thursday, like an hour somewhere in the early evenings to be available. And it will be by appointment only, so we can connect through Zoom. I think Zoom is probably the best way to meet. I probably won't be on campus much. I mean, I'm near campus all the time. My other job is kind of close to it too, but I think it's best just to kind of, if we do happen to meet, just to meet through Canvas. All right, let's go through this. This is all good stuff. Some of the outcomes and completions is good. So questions about the book now. So this link takes you to where you could buy the book, but it's from a different quarter. This links to still work, but I honestly would suggest to get the book, not even buy the book, but buy the access code. So this is actually not the book, this is the access code. I would suggest getting it through My Stat Lab, through Pearson, and not through the bookstore. And I'll show you how to do that. Some of you guys probably already did that, and that's great. How many here that's online right now have already done this? Did you guys get access to it, Linda? I see.
I haven't done the 14 days access, but I've done it before. Especially, I've taken this class once, but I had to drop out. So this is my second time taking it, and I've done the Pearson.
Oh, who did you take it from? Was it me?
No, I think it was Heidi.
Okay. Yeah, Heidi. Oh, I like Heidi. She's so nice. Did you like her?
Yeah, but I was going through some stuff at that time that I wasn't able to complete it. Like by the second week, I told her I wasn't going to continue, but I did like that.
Okay. Well, you really can't go wrong with me, though. I think you did a good job by signing up for my section because she always teaches stats too. But this time I stole you from her. Yeah, that's good. So yeah, it's not going to be a big deal. You can activate that 14-day trial and then you can eventually buy it. Within those 2 weeks, you got to buy it. Some other things that is part of the materials is I suggest using the TI-84. It looks like this. Okay, I have a yellow one, but usually they're gray. But this is what it would look like. This is a TI-84. This guy will get you through the course pretty good. Now, if you don't have this and you don't want to buy it, you could probably rent it from the library. And also, there are people who get through this class with flying colors without it. So there is an alternative as well, and that's inside my stat lab. My stat lab has basically a online calculator, stats calculator. And I'll demonstrate that as well. So you guys will see that. Any questions about the materials for the class at all? Okay. Yeah, and if anything does pop up, you just let me know. I think one of the things is I like to emphasize is just to be resourceful. Because we are online, I think that you should try to use material from online. Okay, like anything that's not clear, use the internet or use the materials that we give you. Find different, be resourceful. And the more resourceful you are, the faster you can find what you're looking for or get through a certain problem that you might be stuck on. I can always give you some tips too if something goes wrong. Oftentimes I'm available to make videos. I know sometimes people don't want to, students don't approach me about it, but it's quite all right. Like if someone says, hey, you know what, I'm really stuck on this problem. It's a homework problem. Can you make a video about how to go through it? And I probably will. I probably have already done it already. And so there's a location inside Canvas where I've put up old videos and resources. And I would suggest subscribing to my YouTube channel as well. And if you do, at least for this quarter, then you can unsubscribe, or you can just stay subscribed. I don't know, but if you are subscribed, and every time I make a video, and it goes into the playlist, I have a stats playlist, you'll get it right away, even before I post it to Canvas, because sometimes there's a delay. I might make a video late at night, and then I'm just too tired to even post it. So I'll post it the next day, right? But if you're already on the channel, then you're there and you're going to get the material a lot faster. And you know what I'll do? Let me drop my my YouTube channel into the chat. And I think there's a link as well, but it's dthomas7. youtube.com/dthomas7. So, and so you might see some meditation videos and stuff like that. That's just another project that I was working on. So don't worry about that. Those are just that's my way of helping people sleep better. But no, there is actually a stats playlist, and I have the lecture videos and all of that good stuff up there. So be resourceful. Everything is open in this class. It's open. So We're so open that it's impossible for you to cheat. Okay. Okay, no, that's not a funny joke. I'm gonna stop saying that. The late work. Here's the thing about late work, guys. You can work on your homework after the due date for no penalty. Okay. Now, there are due dates to the homework, and that is to keep you on pace. All right. But the truth is, you can work on the homework all the way until the last day of class. Now, I've told this to some students, and they literally did not do any homework until the last day of class. And it didn't end well for them. Let me explain something about this. You can work on the homework all the way to the last day of class, but once that last day happens, it's over. You do not have access to it anymore. Now the question becomes, hey, what is the last day of the class? I define the last day of our class to be the day before the final exam. The homework and the final exam will not be open at the same time. The final exam, we'll talk about this, the final exam opens on a Tuesday. The final is going to be open for 2 days, actually, for 48 hours. It's going to be open on Tuesday, and it's going to close on Wednesday. It's not open for just 2 hours. That's dumb. I have it open for 2 days. There's no excuses. You must take it. Now, if it opens on a Tuesday, the last day to work on the homework is Monday at midnight, 11:59 p.m. That's when the homework closes. And I think it's March 14th is the final, or maybe March 13th is when it opens. Whatever day that is, it is the day before. That's when you can no longer work on the homework anymore. But it's best to just keep up with the homework according to the pacing guide. I mean, there are people who will get very high marks on the homework. You have unlimited attempts on the homework as well. So you can keep working on the homework. The homework is worth 25% of your grade, and you can drop your 2 lowest homework grades. That's not actually that much, because there's actually quite a lot of homework problems. But dropping 2, sometimes I've even extended it to drop 4. There's on average, about 10 questions on the homework. I've trimmed it down. All right, there used to be like 25, but there was a student who complained. And so I just thought, all right, I don't want anybody complaining anymore about it. So I cut it in half. But most of the homeworks have about 10 questions on there, okay? You can do more if you want, if you feel like you need to. In Pearson, you can always click on, hey, you have the ability to answer more questions or do a similar problem just like the one you just did, just to practice. You can do that on your own if you need to, okay? Okay. And then aside from the homework, there are for your grade. You get to drop your lowest quiz grade. So there's only 3 that get averaged in out of the 4. I still suggest you to take all 4 of them. But I mean, even if you nailed the first 3, maybe you got like, let's say you got a 95, 100, and a 99 on them. And you already know that you're happy with that, with the first 3. So you're like, hey, I already know I'm dropping 1 quiz. I'm not going to take the 4th quiz. But I won't suggest that. And the reason why is because if you take all 4 of them, it's going to help you prepare better for the final. And the lowest grade will automatically get omitted anyway. You get 3 for every quiz. So you get to take it 3 times. And the quizzes are open for about 5 days as well. All right. So that's the way the quizzes work. The quizzes are actually composed of like homework problems. So the quiz looks just like the homework problem, all right? There'll be about at most 20 questions on a quiz, usually around 15 questions. I've been trimming them down to about 15 questions. You have tons of time. The midterm exam is scheduled for Tuesday, February 7th. Now I put the time 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m., but that's just not true. I should actually modify that. The midterm is going to be open for 48 hours. So it's going to open Tuesday morning, right at midnight. And it's going to close at Wednesday, 11:59. So it's open for 48 hours, exactly 48 hours. And you just have to take it one time. You only got one shot at it, okay? You can't review your answers until after the midterm has closed out. So on Thursday, the 9th, that's when you're able to go back in and see what you did. I'm going to create a practice midterm exam. The practice midterm exam is just like the real exam, except it just doesn't count. A lot of people always ask me this, does it count? Does it count? And I think the reason why students freak out about it is because it's in the grade book. It looks like it's being averaged in, but the truth is, no, it's not. And I honestly will just delete it after the practice midterm. I'll delete it just to avoid any confusion. It does not count. You can get a 0 on the practice midterm and it will not affect you, okay? I just had to make it look real so that you can practice for it. The practice has more questions on it than the actual midterm. So like the practice might have like 50 questions and then the actual test may have only 20. So it's good practice, all right? And sometimes I actually pull some of the questions from the practice and I select them for the actual test. I've done that. And we'll meet, we're gonna have a Zoom meeting before the midterm. That's gonna be our next scheduled Zoom meeting. If you don't make it, we'll record it. But our next scheduled Zoom meeting will happen to go over the practice midterm and any other questions that you may have. So we're gonna meet, and I forget the date on that, but it's in the guide. Same thing for the final. That's 25%, and the final is actually 25%. The final is considered cumulative or comprehensive, but it does focus more on the second half of the class. It focuses more on the material after the midterm. All right, and it is also open for 48 hours. It might be scheduled for this time frame, but we know it's actually scheduled from Tuesday to Wednesday. Okay, and notice Tuesday's March 14th. So that means Monday, March 13th. Is this Pi Day? You know Pi Day. You know Pi Day I'm talking about, right? 3.14. Our final exam is on Pi Day. That's classic. I don't think that's ever happened before. So the day before Pi Day is the day that the homework is due. Now you probably would already be done with it by then, but I'm just have to state it just so that we're all on the same page. All right, and so your grade is gets converted over. I take your percentage, and then I'll eventually convert it into a letter grade. Notice I pulled off the B minuses and the C minuses. This is a really good deal. $92 is 5. 92.5 is closer to 93 than it is 92, technically. Okay, someone might say, ah, it's dead in the middle. Uh, I rounded up to 93. It would be dumb to give you the 92 if you got 92.5. That's just dumb. If you got 92.3, 92, I may round it up. There's a strong chance that I will. And what will happen is when I look at the borderline grades, I sometimes will go back and regrade things. I'll go back and look at your homework. I'll go back and look at your midterm. I'll go back and look at your final. If I find a partial point or even a half of a point somewhere, that might be enough to get you to the next percentage point. So yeah. So there's our grading scale. All right. There are other marks. It's true. Like I've given out an I before. I've given out V's. All right. Like let's just say your work, you don't want to finish anymore and you forgot to drop the class. You decided after the due date to drop the class that you don't want to do it anymore. You could just message me and say, hey, can you give me a V? And then just stop showing up. And I'll go back through my notes. I'll see that you stopped showing up and I'll go through my messages and find and say, oh, wait, I'm supposed to give this person a V. And I'll surely give you a V. And all a V is just means that you withdrew the class and the V does not affect your GPA. All right. We're going to come back to the calendar. Let's just keep going through the syllabus real quick here. Yeah, and this is all just good stuff in the syllabus, disability statements, and the MISA statement. And I'll just look at the calendar. So here's like our pacing guide. This is kind of like to keep up pace. This is kind of how you should do it. Like the first week is chapter 1. And then the second week is chapter 2 and 3, half of 3. And notice the sections that are required. So you have to pay close attention to this because not all the sections are going to be done. Okay. If you are reading along in the book, 2.3, for example, is not going to be covered. And so we have, according to this, it's not when it's due, it's when you should be doing it. So next week, Thursday, January 12th, that's when quiz 1 opens. Quiz 1 is based on everything that we did before this date. So quiz 1 is based on chapter 1 and 2. And then it'll be due, probably it'll be due Monday. It'll open Thursday and then probably be due Monday midnight. All right, so you have all weekend to take it. 3 attempts. And I can't say, a lot of people will wait till the last day to take the quiz. And a lot of times they'll do that because maybe they didn't finish the homework and their plan is, hey, let me just finish the homework before I even look at the quiz. Hey, fine. If that works for you, do it. But you're probably only going to end up taking it one time. All right. So that's kind of the way it works. And 3.1 through 4, so chapter 3 and 4 is going to be in quiz 2. Quiz 2 is assigned 2 weeks later. Now, chapter 5 is not going to be on quiz 2, but it will be on the midterm. The practice midterm is going to open the same day the quiz 2 opens. They both open at the same time. And then February 2nd, I put in review. This is probably going to be the date, unless something else pops up on my calendar. This will probably be the day where we will have our Zoom meeting, and we're going to go over the solutions to the practice midterm and talk more about the midterm. All right, and this meeting will be recorded. I have older videos where I did this, so I may just release an older video, especially if the midterm is the same thing. Or I just might create a new one. It just depends on how many people show up. And then after the midterm, we move into the part 2 of the course, which is the inferential statistics. This is where we start carrying out statistical tests to make predictions and conclusions about the data. We start to learn about the normal distributions, the confidence intervals, and the hypothesis testing and stuff like that. All right. And quiz 3 will be on chapter 6 and 7. And quiz 4, the 4th quiz, will be probably on 8 and 9. I don't think it'll be on 10 and 11. Maybe 8, 9, and 10. I'd have to look at quiz 4 again. I forget what quiz 4 is on. And then the practice final will be released March 2nd. I have the week before the final week, I have a bunch of final review days built in. We will schedule some Zoom meetings on one of these days, maybe both. You know, it just depends on the need. We could even study in person on campus as well. Or figure something out by then. Oh, probably in person. Remember, we're still in a pandemic, right? I know it's not talked about that much. And then the final exam. All right, that was a lot. So the next thing we're going to discuss, guys, next thing I'd like to discuss is the Canvas in MyStat Lab. So let's go inside Canvas. There's a lot of resources. And we're also going to MyStatLab, which has a lot of resources. All right. There was a question coming in about, can we use notes on midterms and finals? Absolutely. You can use whatever you want. Everything's open. You can use anything you want. You know, the books, the resources, the internet, whatever you need. There's no lockdown browser or anything weird like that. We're not doing that. All right, that's not what we need to do. And that doesn't, yeah, that can create more inconvenience than anything else. So I want you to be comfortable when you go in there. Are the quizzes of final time? They absolutely are timed. You have an abundance of time. I don't want time to be an issue. If you need more time, I can adjust the times, but the time that I give is generous. All right. So no one's, I've never heard of anybody getting in time trouble with any of my assessments. So yeah, the time is reasonable. All right. So here is the way our Canvas page looks. I can even go in as a student, view. Let's see. This is what it would look like. That's a lot. That's kind of intimidating to do all of this. Whoa. We're like, man, what did I sign up to? Well, again, they have multiple due dates. And then also you happen to know, because you showed up tonight, you know the little secret about this course that some people might not be able to figure out. Somebody's going to ask me a question about it. Hey, Mr. Tons, can you open up the homework? I just missed it, and you know, I had a lot going on. So sure, I'll open it up. I won't do anything because it's already open. Yeah, yeah. That's what we're gonna do. But you guys showed up tonight, so you're gonna know that. So anyway, um, it says start here, which leads you here, which is like the first module, which is orientations. Once you've done that, like so many people have, see, did you get this done just now? Okay, good job, Christina. Yeah. And you're not no running start student either. Good. No, okay. Let's click next. Now, once you've done that, you click next. And look, do you guys realize that this is actually a link to the book? If you click this, it's actually the ebook for free. I found it online. It's the 5th edition, but trust me, there's no difference between the 5th and 6th editions. So you click on that, you're going to get a big download. And then you click on this, Netiquette. All right, what is this about? Well, this is talking about, most of you guys have already had online classes, but it gives you some guidelines on how to be successful online. You know, not to really joke around or if you comment on somebody else's post, you know, the language, and but I haven't had any problems with that. And I think you guys are aware of this. You know, we're from, you know, the Pacific Northwest. That's one thing people know out here is they know how to be respectful to other people. I mean, people, we all have feelings and things of that sort. But yeah, and then you click next again. I like these. I'm giving you guys this. This is good info. All right, the concept of mindset. And there's actually 4 videos. You don't have to do this, but, and they seem a little cheesy, but there's a lot of like research and development behind these videos. And there's a deeper meaning behind it. It kind of reminds me of self-help type of program, right? It's not about just getting good at statistics. It's about getting good at whatever it is you choose you want to do with your time. And there's a way to go about doing it. And it really boils down to is taking on the challenges and embracing the challenges, making mistakes and learning from them. It's the determination type of factor. So, and if you click next again, it's going to show you how to register for Pearson. This is just a YouTube video that I made. It also has a hyperlink to some directions that might be helpful. First, open Pearson. Now, you don't have to go to the Pearson website. And I'm going to demonstrate this when we talk about the Pearson. So there's a video on that. This is all part of the chapter 1 overview. Oh, and that, okay, now we get into the chapter 1 overview. We have, this is the lecture video. It's just me going over some slides. It's not all, you know, comprehensive. Chapter 1, this link is the notes for chapter 1 from the book. So you already have notes, okay? Now, if you click next again, it's going to take you to the homework problems. Now, obviously, you have to sign up first. And once you sign up, you can begin to work on the homework problems. So that's kind of how it flows. In the different modules, like for me, let me leave the student view now. Like right now, I could click on all the homework assignments, they're all open right now. They have different due dates, but I intentionally allowed them to be open. So you can click on, I mean, I could go to chapter 5 right now and click on a homework problem. So you truly can work at your own pace in this class. Not even 10 questions, only 8. I forget what this chapter is about. Oh, probability. All right, that's a good chapter. Are the lists mutually exclusive? Do they have any numbers in common? Well, they have an 8 and a 9 in common. They're not mutually exclusive. So all I gotta do, so it's kind of a weird view though. When you're doing the homework inside of Canvas, sometimes they limit your window. So list the outcomes in E and F. Well, they actually have 7, 8, and 9. They have, oh wait, they have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 in common. Oh, no. E and F only. Okay. 8, 9, 10, 11. 8 and 9. 8 and 9. Yeah, let's go. I'm gonna choose that. All right, cross your fingers. Yes. Yes, that's how it's done. That's how it's done. Okay, I knew what that's. Are E and F mutually exclusive? No, they have outcomes in common. Okay, that's how it's done. All right, we're going to leave this. So there's some resources. If you go into discussions, I have the lecture videos by chapter. There's a link, a hyperlink. These all feed into my YouTube channel. Chapter 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, so on and so forth, okay? If we go back to discussion, what else do we have? Random homework problem videos. So I've created some helpful random videos, and these are me going over some problems that some students may have had in the past. Like this is homework 3.2, number 2, talking about population deviation using StatCrunch. How to use the empirical rule in chapter 3.2. Here's a video going over problem number 5 from homework 4.1. Okay, so I've created some videos. Here's how to use the TI-84 in the binomial distribution. I think this is probably a recent video. There's actually probably more. There's some videos that I probably haven't even posted. And I don't mind creating more videos. Sometimes I've made videos for people and I just sent the video directly to them and I didn't post it to the entire class. So I know I've done a lot of videos that's just not even shown. But inside discussions, we have quite a lot of resources. We have the classroom notes, the classroom folder, the course forum, I mean. Now, someone asked a question about, do we have any book homework? No, so it turns out that the online homework are the same problems from the book. They've been imported to online. So you might, let's say you have a problem that you're working on, some homework problem that I'm just working on, I could probably find that same homework problem in the textbook. So the homework problem from the book is the homework problem from online. I even give the student solution manual. This gives the solutions for all the odd problems, I believe, for each chapter. So if you click on one, and this again corresponds to the book. But again, the homework problems are in the book. Yeah, these give the solutions. Sometimes they work it out a little bit too, to the odd problems. So you do have access to that. So this is a nice resource. Let's go over some more things. The course forum. So you can click on here, and this is where you can ask questions, and anyone could read the question or respond or help answer the question. Graphing calculator tutorial videos, the PowerPoints. These are the new edition PowerPoints. Additional resources. So for additional resources, here is my entire playlist on my YouTube channel. I told you guys I had a YouTube channel. Wasn't kidding. Here it is. Not many views, I know. I have some subscribers, 142 subscribers. It's not bad, right? Here's another YouTube playlist that I found online. Someone else was doing stats, and this is more of a first person view where you can see their hand. And whereas me, when I do it, you can kind of see, it's like through my brain. This is like through their eyes. It's just a different view, but this could be helpful. I always thought this was a nice resource. It does correspond to our textbook too. Here's another resource. This is an online stats calculator. So you click on one of these things, you can actually calculate certain things. This is like a backup, right? Like if you needed to calculate some data on a list of numbers, let's say I have 2, 12, 22, so on and so forth, just a bunch of numbers. I label the numbers, I'll call it inches. I can hit calculate. Oh, I got to enter a bin. I'll enter 5. I should change this value. I'll get this 3. Hit calculate. And it gives me a bunch of stats. All right, gives me the mean, the deviation, the 5-number summary. We'll be discussing what all this stuff means. You've probably heard of this in the past. A nice box and whisker plot. They even made it vertical. Sometimes it's more horizontal. I've seen it more horizontal than vertical, but having it vertical has some benefits as well. A nice little resource. If you happen to find any resources, you can reply in a thread, and we'll add it to the resources for the course. Like if you happen to find something really cool and valuable online, let the class know. Yeah, that's about it. If we go into files, I might have some more resources in here. Not really, all right? Not that much. Oh, the practice? Yeah, wow, okay. So that is a rundown of our Canvas page. I've activated let's see the links that you guys have. So you guys actually have the people link. So if you click on people, you have access to all the students in our class. All right, so maybe you can reach out to the students and, if you guys want to communicate or work together, form study groups and things like that. I would encourage all of those things. But if you want, we're not in competition with each other. It's really about working together, trying to pull each other through this. Okay. And when you're trying to learn something, one of the best things to do is to actually help teach it as well. But it seems kind of weird. It's like, well, how can I teach something if I'm not learning it? But it turns out that that's actually one way to help things stick, is when you're talking about it and helping others. And so I encourage all those things. So the only other thing that I didn't get into is my stat lab. And so this is how you would access this. This is where you would go, where it says My Lab and Mastering. That's how we sign into Pearson. It's already embedded and linked into our class. Okay, yeah, Linda, if you have to take off, feel free to take off, it's no problem. So here it is. So once you click on this, you should see this. I call this the yellow button. All right, this is where you would go to enter the course. And you have a lot more resources here. Let's go to the course home. Now, there's actually a grade book as well. Well, there's some students that have already started. I will say this. There's a grade book inside of My Lab and Mastering, inside Pearson, but that's not the grade book that I go by. So it's your grades inside here, but I would ignore that. It's only the ones inside of Canvas. So that's the one thing about Pearson. But there is the ebook somewhere in here. It says e-text context. You can access it here. So if you just click on one of the chapters, I would click on chapter opener. Let's see if it opens it better. Oh, I actually have to sign in. That's weird. Obviously, I've been signed in. If I can click on that link, so there's StatCrunch. So this is where you can go to find StatCrunch. StatCrunch is pretty cool. I used to never use it, and all of a sudden, students start to use it more and more. And I realized, I'm like, well, let me keep up. I got to keep up with the way it's headed. People start asking me StatCrunch questions. I'm like, you're on your own. I don't use StatCrunch. Then I start realizing, like, no, StatCrunch isn't that bad after all. It's actually really convenient. If you're working on the homework, you can open the data inside of StatCrunch. And then, it looks like a spreadsheet of your data, and then you can do all kinds of things. You can open up your stats calculator. You can perform all these tests. You can do all of these things. We're going to be learning about almost all of this stuff. There's a lot to learn. Okay, not all of it, but I'd say about 50% of it. Maybe more than 50%. We're going to be doing all kinds of stuff like this. So StatCrunch is pretty cool. Let's see what else. And there's something called the Video and Resource Library. Yeah, you guys got to see this. This is good stuff. So it turns out that there are lecture videos. They're different from mine. These are put out by the author of the book, and those guys. And there's other resources available. So for you, click on chapter 1, section 1.1. I'll start with 1.2. Select all the things that they have available, right? Find now and look at this. Oh, there's some things. There's some chapter prep video, test prep videos. Here's some videos going over animations going over these problems here. And these tie into the book. The PowerPoint, these are the same PowerPoints that are in the discussions already. I've already collected them and put them in there for you. And here's the book. You can click on this and the book should open exactly to this page of 1.2. Looks like it won't do it unless I sign in. Let me see if I can actually get in. I'm not going to know the password. Let me try one more. Wow. Let's see. That's really interesting. I have no idea what that. All right, hold on. Maybe my username is off. Yeah, that's too bad. Yeah, I'll have to reset that at some point. So that's pretty valuable, guys. All right, we got chapter 2. We got a bunch of resources in chapter 2, probably even more videos, different videos and examples of stuff. They show you how to do things in StatCrunch by hand using the calculator and also using Excel, creating a histogram in 4 ways. It's pretty nice. So that's another resource that you get. You get the book inside of here. You get some class notes. These are the same class notes that I've already put in to the discussion. StatCrunch, and a whole list of other things. And this is where you can also access the assignments. You get the full screen, which is pretty convenient. So if I click on 1.1, I get the full screen. I can open it up. And I won't have any problems. Eventually, this work will get uploaded into Canvas when I sync the grades. Okay. So that's a broad overview of our Pearson and the way the class is set up. I've kind of gone over a lot of things. Okay. I'm not sure I'm missing anything there. I think we went over a lot of stuff just now. Any questions? Anybody have any questions right now at all, or does everything seem pretty straightforward? Are you guys pretty pumped up about this? Ready to do this? So, yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. I think I touched on pretty much everything. If there are some questions that might come up later, you could just message me through Canvas, or create a discussion or something like that, and I'll be sure to get to it. But this Zoom link right here is the same Zoom link that we use anytime we meet, whether it's office hours or whether it's for the study session, for the midterm and for the final. It's this Zoom link right here. It's that same Zoom link that I gave for you guys to come in here. All right. So I think we did really good. I really appreciate you guys hanging in there. I think we're going to probably wrap it up here. I think we've